Hello, welcome to my Camino packing video. This is actually the first video that I've done where I've looked at and spoken to the camera, so I apologize if it comes across as really amateur, but bear with me. When I was first planning to do the Camino de Santiago, I was amazed at how many cool packing videos I found on YouTube. Some really great stuff, and I appreciate all the work those people done. They were very helpful. And then I realized, after looking at forums and stuff, that I found a posting that said it's actually mandatory to do a packing video, and they'll check your video when you check in at the starting point in Saint-Jean-Pied-de-Port in France. And, I'm sorry, what? Oh, no? Okay, well, welcome to my packing video. This is the stuff I've got. It's actually really good to lay it out and see just how much I'm planning to take. It's kind of overwhelming, and doing this process has helped me eliminate quite a bit. I've got probably 15% less here than what I started with like an hour ago. So I'm gonna break it down into groups of items and go over them in a little bit more detail. Here we go. Okay, for footwear, I looked at a lot of different types of shoes, a lot of considerations. I knew I didn't want a hiking boot because those are just too big and heavy. I wanted something a little lower cut, like a running shoe or a hiking shoe. I started off with a pair of hiking shoes that had really good grip, good tread on the bottom, and they were Gore-Tex, so they were waterproof. I didn't want my feet getting wet on the Camino. But after I was training in them for a little while, I discovered they were just too warm for my feet. My feet got really hot, and I know that that would be a big source of blister problems. So I have changed up my shoe choice to go with a non-waterproof shoe, and I found these Brooks shoes. They're called Catamounts. They're really lightweight. They're more of a trail runner. They don't have quite as much contour or protection around the toe that I would like normally, but they have some good grip and they're just so comfortable. I decided I'm gonna go with these, try them out. For nighttime footwear, I have some Teva sandals, and these are definitely bigger and bulkier than what I've seen a lot of people using. A lot of people just take some flip-flops for the shower. But I wanted a pair of sandals that gave me an option for wearing during the day of hiking if I really needed a break from my regular shoes. I could wear these with some socks or something. So that's what I'm using for footwear. Next, clothing. So for clothing, to start with, I'm taking a rain jacket. This is an outdoor research jacket. It's pretty lightweight, a really good jacket that I've worn several times in rainstorms and never got wet. I did consider going with a poncho for a while that would go over my backpack and give me a little bit more breathability down below because it would hang out wide and stuff like that. But I'm planning on spending a few days before and after the Camino in some larger cities. Just to sightsee and tour around, and I didn't like the idea of having a poncho. I just thought the Parisians would laugh at me. You know, I'm a slave to fashion, so going with the jacket. I have a long sleeve shirt that's fairly lightweight, but it could be a layer if I'm getting chilly in the mornings or something like that. Also will serve as a sun shirt if I want to walk in the hot blazing sun and not wear sunscreen sometimes. This will help me out. Got a collared polo shirt, short sleeve. This is breathable. It's not merino wool, but it is antibacterial, so it's hopefully not very stinky. those are for, you know, if I'm going on maybe a fancier dinner or something some nights. I have a t-shirt, again, lightweight, breathable, quick dry, very comfortable. It's quite a soft material. I like that one. For pants, I have one pair of pants and they zip off at the knee so they can become shorts if I want. They're pretty lightweight, so they're not going to be great in like really cold conditions, but I don't expect we'll be in too much cold weather. For shorts, for most of my hiking days, I've got a little bit of a heavier duty hiking short. They're not that heavy, but a little bit more substantial than some people would probably wear, but pretty solid material. And I do have a really light pair of running shorts. Probably use these for sleeping in, or they do have a liner built in, so they could be used for swim trunks if I see any nice rivers or something and I need to get out of the heat for a while. Underwear, I'm bringing two pairs of underwear, one that I'll wear every day, and then after the day of hiking I'll wash those and hang them up and put on the second pair to go around the town, have dinner, sightsee, whatever. Taking 3 pairs of socks, 2 pairs of these merino wool bright socks, and they have a built-in liner to them, which will hopefully reduce some of the friction and mitigate blister problems. For the 3rd pair of socks, this is just a low cut, also merino wool. It's a smart wool sock with a little bit more cushioning to it. The 3 pairs, because I'm thinking on some days where, you know, it's really hot out, I'll probably change my socks halfway through the day of hiking, and then again at night. So 3 pairs of that. I'm taking a cap. It's white and very breathable for being in the hot sun. And it's also got a snap-on kind of cape to it that goes around the back and will cover my ears and the back of my neck. This is Outdoor Research. Not maybe the most fashionable thing, but should serve me well in the sun, I think. Gloves. I've got a really lightweight pair of gloves that I'll be taking. And I have a lightweight pair of mitts that are waterproof. So if I get into any downpours, I can layer these if I want to, keep my hands dry. I often have problems with my hands getting cold, so kind of wanted that option. And the last thing for clothing is I've got a buff. So you can wear these around your neck to keep warm, to keep the sun off. You can wear it around your ears, the top of your head, again to keep warm. And it's got the Canadian flag logo on there, just representing. That's it for clothing. All right, hiking poles. I am bringing a pair of Compardel hiking poles. They're fairly lightweight. They're collapsible and you can take them apart for packing. I have seen lighter weight poles and more collapsible poles. But I like these for a couple of reasons. One is they've got these nice cork tops for gripping when you're going up or down hills and stuff like that. And these tops unscrew and they have a camera mount screw on the top of them. So I'll be able to attach my mounts for my GoPro or my cell phone to get some distance shots if I don't want to constantly have selfies right up close to my face. And for the poles, I've got a little packing bag. Most airlines and a lot of airports don't allow you to take hiking poles on board. A little bit of a safety hazard. So I got a hiking pole bag and I can fit 2 sets of poles in here. And I also probably will put a couple extra things like my pocket knife, my trowel, just stuff that I'm not really comfortable or allowed to take on board the plane. In addition to all that, I've got extra tips for my poles. I've read a lot about people not liking the click-clacking of hiking poles on the rocks and the pavement, so try to be a little bit courteous there. I've also got some spare shoelaces that I'll be taking along, and little shoelace clips. These are for like the quick pull stretchy laces so you don't have to tie them. You can look that up if you're interested. I've got a foam physio ball, I guess, for the bottoms of my feet. It's really lightweight, and I find it really helpful if I go for long walks or runs. It really eases the arches of my feet, just rolling that across them. Good for my back or shoulders or whatever too. I'm taking some Vicks Vapor Rub. I know some people will take Vaseline and just put it on their feet and then in between their toes before a long day of hiking. It helps reduce the friction, which causes blisters. I saw some tips that some people prefer the Vapor Rub because it just gives their feet a little extra tingle to start their day. So I'll try that out. Some hiker's wool, which has been recommended in a lot of places I've read online for alleviating blisters in terms of reducing the moisture buildup and the heat and the friction. So you put some hiker's wool, just ball up a little bit and put it on your feet wherever a blister is starting to form. It helps reduce the risk of that. And then a small roll of duct tape for repairing any rips to bags or jackets or whatever else I might have. There's not much here, just for emergency purposes. That's it for the hiking gear. All right, next we've got some sleeping gear. I debated a lot about what to bring for this stuff. I looked at sleeping bags and was a little concerned reading some people's stories about how some albergues, the hostels for pilgrims, how they don't have blankets all the time. And I didn't want to freeze. Even though I'm not planning on staying on albergues that often, I just didn't want to have the risk of having a really horrible night's sleep. But the sleeping bags I looked at were all just too big and too heavy for really what I was comfortable with carrying on my back. I know there are some ultralight bags out there, but those are just beyond my price range. So what I found instead is I've got a sleeping bag liner. This one is silk, which I know is a little bit more expensive than a regular cloth sleeping bag liner might be, but it's so lightweight and so packable. I just liked it, and it's really soft and comfortable too. So I've got the liner. Hopefully that will help deter any bed bugs as well, at least from getting onto my body. And hopefully that won't be a problem either on the Camino. The other thing I've got is this fleece blanket. It's not very thick. It's just sort of a minimalist travel blanket, but it's actually surprisingly warm. I've tried it a couple times now, been pleasantly surprised, and it rolls up to very little space and super light. So that is what I'm going with instead of a sleeping bag. And the last couple items here are some earplugs for sleeping. I've got a couple pairs of wax ones. I tried the foam ones and they just don't keep out the sound very much for me. The wax ones are a little bit better, so we'll see if they do the job to help mitigate all the snoring that apparently you hear when you're in these hostels. And then just a mask for keeping the light out in case I'm woken up in the middle of the night by somebody rummaging around or trying to go to the washroom or whatever. That's it for my sleeping gear. All right, now on to the toiletries that I'm packing. There's quite a bit here, so I'll go through it as quickly as I can. First things are a couple things that are probably heavier than I would like to take, and I know most people probably wouldn't take these, but I've decided I am. One is a spare pair of eyeglasses. I'm basically blind without my glasses. I can't see very well at all, so if my glasses broke or were lost for some reason, I'd be holding someone's hand and they'd lead me across Spain, which wouldn't be fun for either of us. So spare glasses. In the case, I've also got some contact lenses that I'm taking and a glass cleaner cloth. The other somewhat heavy item that I'm taking is a Philips portable shaver. I've tried many times the hand shavers that people use, and they just irritate my skin and I look like I've fallen into a thorn bush. So I'm taking an electric shaver. I did find a portable one, which is definitely smaller, takes up less room, and a little bit lighter than my home one. But once you put the 2 AA batteries in here, it's not that light, but I'm taking it. Next thing is a bar of soap. This is actually a shampoo bar. You can use for your body as well. I took the bar and I cut it in half. This is sort of a minty one. It smells really great. And I've got a soap bar bag that I found for it. This is breathable, so it'll allow it to dry if it hasn't fully dried, after showering, the night before or something. And I kind of like that it's breathable because it lets my pack smell really good too. I get that sort of minty freshness in my pack. And the bag itself is a little bit rough, so it can be used as a bit of a loofah if I need the extra cleaning power. Next is a laundry bag. So this is clearly a porous, breathable laundry bag. Just going to be putting my clothes in here if I find a washing machine and I'm washing clothes with some other people, if we're sharing the machine for some reason. I just keep my clothes separate, easier to not miss any socks or something like that. Lightweight, I think it's a handy thing to have. And in terms of laundry, I've also got a Sea to Summit small packable clothesline here. I don't have them on here, but I'm taking 6 clothespins as well for hanging my clothes on the municipal albergue clotheslines. But if I don't get a spot on their clothesline, or if they don't have one, I've got a line that I can hang up myself. And some laundry leaves for detergent to go in the machine. There's 50 of these, and depending on the size of the load, I think I could probably cut them in half, so I'd have like 100 loads of laundry should I need it. Hopefully I don't need to wash my clothes that much. But for body soap, I've also got this shampoo leaves, travel ones. There's 50 of these. Again, I don't have a lot of hair, so I could probably cut these in half and get a lot of showers out of those. I've got a somewhat smaller travel size deodorant that I'll be taking. And for my teeth, I've got a toothbrush, travel toothpaste. I can get another one of these at a pharmacy or something if I need to, and some floss. I've also got 3 small containers for pills. I'm taking some allergy pills, some ibuprofen, and for my headaches, acetaminophen. These are actually surprisingly lightweight. Just keep them all separate. I've got a travel towel. This is a bit larger than I know I've seen a lot of people who take basically tea towels. I've taken a bit of a larger towel. It is a travel towel though. Pretty compact in terms of overall size, I guess. Antibacterial. Yeah. Got a small pocket knife. If I need to, cut things. It's got tweezers built in if I need to get out a sliver or something like that. Some lip balm, also SPF rated. Make sure I don't get my lips sunburnt in the sun. Some medical tape. This is a cloth breathable one. If I have any cuts or blisters that I really need to bandage up securely. A couple wipes. I'll probably add a couple more of these to my pack. They're just alcohol wipes for disinfecting things. And some Band-Aids. There's a couple varieties in here. Some standard Band-Aids. There's also some blister Band-Aids, which are just thicker. Also Band-Aid brand, but made specifically for blister problems. These are tablets for their hydrolyte, I guess. For electrolytes, you just add them to your water. I have a habit of not drinking enough water. I'm going to try to stay on top of that during the Camino, but I'm going to add these to my water, probably a half tablet at least every day, just to make sure I'm keeping hydrated properly. I've got some nail clippers, a spork, spoon fork. I've got these, which are kind of like toe caps. So if you unfortunately get into a situation where you've lost your toenail, you can put these over your toe, and it's just a rubberized thing to protect your nerve endings and stuff. I have had a couple times in my life from running and playing sports and such where I've lost a toenail. It's not pleasant, it's not comfortable, so these are just to make me get through any situation like that. Got some masks, a couple that I'm taking along. I've read the pharmacies still require you to wear masks, and some churches required as well. Just a small container of sunscreen. I'll probably be getting more of that once I get into Spain. And then last but not least, I've got a trowel and some toilet paper. Hopefully I can just use the washrooms at restaurants or cafes, wherever I find them. But if I do get stuck out in the woods, I plan to be going into the trees, burying the waste if I need to. And I will be taking a Ziploc bag if I have to use toilet paper. I'll be putting that in the Ziploc bag and not leaving it on the trail or even buried. I've just read too much about the unsightliness of toilet paper all around the Camino. So that's it for toiletries. Now on to electronics. First thing is my GoPro. So I got a new GoPro to try out filming. Hopefully I can document evidence that I've actually walked the Camino. Still getting used to it. I've been practicing taking videos, but I'm not comfortable filming myself or talking on camera, but I'm hoping to get over that sometime soon. With the GoPro, I've got a shorty little selfie stick here that the GoPro is currently attached to. So that extends a little bit. I can film myself. And this opens up into a tripod. So I can set it up and hopefully sit a long ways away from it and talk. I can also mount my cell phone onto this. I've got an adapter for that. If I want to just take still photos. I find my Samsung cell phone takes better still photos than the GoPro. For the GoPro, I've got a spare battery and the battery charger. So I can just drop both batteries into here and make sure that they're both ready to go for a day of hiking. I've got a little remote control for the GoPro as well, so if I set it up and I'm some distance away, I can trigger it to start filming or stop filming or take a photo if I need to. I actually find this quite handy. I've got some mount accessories for putting the GoPro onto a tripod or other things like my walking poles. And I've got a little clip mount for the GoPro too if I want to clip it to my backpack and just have it go as I hike. This is a little loosener screw thing for the GoPro screw mounts. Just if you've tightened it too tight and can't get it off, this will help you do that. I had to use it on multiple occasions. Couple extra screw mounts for the GoPro mounts here. And I've got a windscreen that goes over top of the GoPro. I have noticed that if you get into windy conditions, you just hear the howling wind and you can't hear yourself talking. So beyond that, I've got a little adapter card reader, so I can take the memory card out of the GoPro, put it into here, and then load it to my phone. That allows me to charge the GoPro batteries while I do that. I don't have to have the GoPro on necessarily. For all the video I'll be taking, it takes up a lot of space, a lot of memory. So I've got an external 2 terabyte backup drive. Keep that with me. It's a little bit heavy, but I think it'll be worth it because I hope to take a lot of video and photos. I've got an adapter mount for my cell phone so that I can screw this onto the selfie stick that the GoPro uses, or I can put it onto the end of my hiking poles. Take some good photos, hopefully, with that. I've got a European plug-in adapter. This one is pretty good. I found it on Amazon. It's actually got 4 plugins for whatever electrical devices you need. And it's got 3 USB ports for directly charging some of my devices on there. Hopefully that'll be useful. I've got a few different cables for all this electronic stuff. One is for my Garmin watch that I'll be taking and hopefully tracking my distance walked every day and stuff like that. Maybe it'll alert me if I have a heart attack going up the Pyrenees, I don't know. And a couple other varieties of USB cables. I won't go into all the types there, but hopefully people don't need as much as I've got there. I've got an external power supply. Again, this is a little bit heavier, but I'm worried about running out of juice if I'm trying to find my way on the trail or whatever, make a phone call in an emergency or something like that. I've got some wireless earbuds for listening to music or audiobooks or podcasts or whatever I want on the trail. And last, I've got a rechargeable headlamp. Some mornings I expect will start off pretty early, a little bit before sunrise, and I don't really want to go hiking the wrong way into a farmer's field. And this is the little cord for charging this. It does require an older USB cord. That's it for electronics. Alright, and now we've got all the bags and packs and stuff. I know this looks a little bit crazy, but everything that we've seen to this point fits into these bags and helps me stay organized and protect some of the stuff. So let me go through this. To start with, I've got a Gregory Zulu 40-liter backpack. I really like it because it's got great straps for shoulder support. It's got the mesh that keeps the bag off of your back a little bit and helps you get some breathability in there and not hopefully perspire as much. It's got the hip straps, which are really good for keeping most of the weight on your hips if you've sized and fitted it properly. And it's got some extra stuff. Inside top zip, outside top zip. It's got a stretchy front part that I can put my sandals in, or maybe my rain jacket if it looks like it might rain at some point during the day. I've outfitted it with a few extra little things. I've got some carabiner clips on the front, some small ones, a small flashlight if I need it for some reason. The front side here, I've got some other carabiners, and these are to hold the necks of water bottles. So I'm planning on not taking a dedicated water bottle with me on the trip, but I'll buy some reusable or disposable water bottles, I guess, on the trip and just keep reusing those. I'm looking at getting like 750 milliliter bottles and putting one or two on the front of my pack here, just hanging them. Another carabiner up top here, and I've got a compass here with the thermometer on it as well. I don't know if I'll really use it, but just in case. So that's the backpack. As part of the backpack, I came with it a rain cover, which I'll just keep on the top, and hopefully that'll be sufficient to keep all my goods nice and dry, should it rain. Speaking of waterproof bags, I've got this dry bag. It's just a smaller one with sort of a see-through front there. And I'll be putting in that my Camino passport, my Canadian passport, and my wallet with any money I've got. Probably just a small pencil as well in case I may need to make notes of something. That'll all just go in here and go on the inside top zip on my backpack. For my electronic stuff, I've got these two cases. They're a little bit rigid. I mean, if I stomped on them, they would still crush, but it hopefully will protect my electronics enough so that I don't have to worry about them getting banged up or broken. The other thing is my, I guess, less valuable, less breakable electronics or cords and stuff can go into this semi-waterproof bag. So that all fits into those things. For clothing, I've got a few bags here. Two that are, I guess, heavier duty dry bags, one large and one small. This I'll be putting in my socks and underwear, and I'll probably keep them somewhere to the top of my bag so I can change my socks halfway through the day if I want to. And they're not fully waterproof, they're just very water resistant. Just so I'm clear on that. And this will be, all my other clothing fits into this one. Pants, shirts, the long sleeve, my rain jacket, it can all fit into here if I need to put it in. It rolls up really nice, gets all the air out. just a good option I found rather than using a traditional packing cube bag. And then I've got another semi-waterproof bag. This one's not really that waterproof, I guess, because it's just got like a pull string top. But this I'll be throwing dirty clothes in if I need to, or just to separate out stuff to some extent. I've got a waist bag, bum bag that I can use. For times when we're staying in albergues or hostels, I don't know how comfortable I'm going to be having things like my passport in my bag, possibly accessible to other people at night. So I'm thinking I'll just keep this on me as I sleep. Added security, maybe I'm being paranoid, I don't know. This is an Osprey ultralight backpack. Incredible how light and compact this is. It expands into, I think, an 18-liter bag, which is pretty good. And I plan on using this if there are any times when I need to send my larger backpack ahead because I've got an injury or I'm sore or just really tired. I'll keep the essential stuff in this backpack and hike with it for the day. It's also got two nice pouches for water bottles on the side. This will also be handy if I'm just going out grocery shopping or around the town for the day and I don't want to carry my huge bag around. So I've got that. I've got this with basically for all my toiletries, so my eyeglasses, my shaver, toothbrush, toothpaste, soaps, they all fit into here. There's the safety pins that I'll be using to hang up my clothes on clotheslines. It's got a built-in hook, so I can hang it on the back of a door, take it with me to the showers. Yeah, all the toiletries fit into there quite nicely. Taking some extra Ziploc bags, again, just in case I need to keep something to make sure it's dry. And also, if we have to go to the washroom out in the nature for some reason, we'll keep the toilet paper in one of these and just dispose of it at the end of the day. And then the last thing is I've got a cup, which I'm taking, you know, in case we need it for wine or whatever other drinking. I know there's that one stop along the Camino where you can get free wine. I won't fill this whole thing. I'll leave some wine for the other pilgrims, but that's it for my bags.